there, my beloved Ascension pioneers. I hope and I know and I trust that you're all, in your beautiful self-emergence process and you're right where you need to be, as we all are. I wrote last week that we're in it for an intense integration weekend, and it was true for me because I was really cleansing through some stomach flu. I received a beautiful spirit guidance while I was in the process of my own that, it was in a dream state and it was all purple, and I chose to go up. And the message was that of reassurance and victory and blessings and good outcomes and everything turning out as it's supposed to. And it was beautiful guidance during that intense transition for me. And I really, all that I wanted to do was share with all of you, because I knew that many of us are experiencing this right now, because all that is still within the old body matrix is choosing to leave our presence, because the new is so highly integrating in ourselves. The cells are being reprogrammed so that our new light DNA is, emerging in this body template. And a lot of the times what happens is we're becoming more sensitive, even more. It's like in this process we were in now, a lot of the times we were desensitized sometimes through all, through these additives in our food, preservatives, all in our surroundings, even what they were doing in through chemtrails and many other different, means to that exist here actually. So a lot of the times we basically were desensitized. Now our bodies are strictly really purging all that is not coming from just pure light of our, creation self. As that is happening, a lot of the knowledge and wisdom is resurfacing, and that is how it was with me. I really felt the guidance telling me that, to just hold on, as this is my last purging before the new cycle. And it's all happening in divine timing and pace, as how we also choose it on our own self, capital S level. And it's all in this beautiful rhythm and harmony. It's like, it's this beautiful dance. If we see it from the higher perspective, even the moments when it's the most intense, we will see basically everything how we have chosen it, how we have chosen to walk through it. Sometimes we get a bit worried, and sometimes we might think, oh, we are descending in a way. But yeah, we are descending. We're spirits descending in these bodies, but we're not descending like in a way we're degrading. We're upgrading. We're always upgrading. We're always going up. And my message was, there is no other way but up. Literally, there is no other way but up for all those of us who choose to, and especially I have this message that I really need to speak about today, about inner guidance and about the group consciousness. This is really what is being birthed here. I received this question from someone who asked me to speak a bit more about divine principles, because I mentioned them a couple of times, and I only mentioned that in one of my writings, that the law of attraction, which so many here on earth focus upon and focus around, is just not the only resonant law here, the only law that applies. That's what there's a lot of confusion, because most of the things that happen, they just apply to that one and single law, and it's not working in unison and cohesion with all of the rest of them. So I was asked to maybe speak more about these other divine principles, and I really have to say to all of you guys that the message that I received when I was really discussing all this, and new realizations that came through as I was purging, and the new was really anchoring in my body, there was more sensitivity, more awareness, more clear cognizance present than ever before. You see, these are the hidden blessings behind every purging that we're going through. The thing is that as a guide, you need to know you come here to guide others, you come here to assist. So if I were to remember every single part of who I am and my entire journey as an individualized I am presence within the group consciousness, the collective I am presence, I wouldn't be here. You see, the vibration would be so highly attuned. I would instantly remember my source right away. I wouldn't be here, because that is not physically possible to remain this physical form in that awareness. So sometimes, for instance, if I don't find the words to properly associate something, it means it's not divine timing yet too. A lot of the things that I feel without a need or really acknowledgement in a way how I would describe that. I just don't know how to describe that, because some things I know on a soul and beyond level are just beyond description through this human language that I can communicate through right now. So I was discussing this topic with my beloved this weekend after my purging. This was yesterday. And we were talking about why you can't really remember everything, because a lot of the people claim they remember everything. And I have a very important message to share about this as well, for all those of you who might have been asking yourselves about this. And so many people who claim they remember all of their lives and everything, which is all fine, but I'll clarify on this a bit later after I explain this. First, so why don't we remember everything? You have to know that awareness works like in light packages. So as much as your body can handle right now, it will be given to you through light packages, these downloads. And these downloads will always be reciprocal to what needs to be embodied in this body. So you basically pre-program yourself before coming here. So everything is chosen in a way. And when you reach that level of being attuned to that divine universal flow and the consciousness and the divine will, where you're in a flow, you basically are always in that program. You're always attuned to that program. You always keep programming yourself as an alignment with every now moment. It's kind of hard to describe this in words, but like I said, we're changing and shifting into times when there is no so much these predestined era. It's like we're choosing and co-creating right through our new core, because we have embodied so much of the self. You see, as our divine heritage, our divine self. The same thing is here. We pre-program ourselves as much as we need to know on every level. And of course, when we are guides, we're acting as a vehicle to guide also others into this process of physical ascension. We will only be given as much as is appropriate for the highest good of the whole group, so to say, because we're working in a group consciousness. We're working in unison, especially now as we have walked through the 12-12-12 gateway of light and unification. We're working through the aspect of golden ray of unification. And that's why my last light activation was working in the aspects of the color gold, the liquid gold, the aspect of our I am, the non-moving part, the source part, the father part, so to say. The blue is the mother ray, the divine is pink, and our own divinity center. So we have the three-folded flame. So the thing is, we will always remember as much as we need to know. If you would remember your entire cosmic soup journey and your real entire soul journey, you wouldn't be here. But you also have to remember the soul journey begins when you start your journey as an individualized soul essence, the individualized aspect of the source, of the creator of all. That's where you start a journey as an individualized aspect of it. But you also exist in realms that are beyond and above it, like heavenly realms, then Christic, Buddhic, godly realms, so to say, the co-creator realms. On some level, you can see them as such. So even though you might have certain inner nuances and feelings of certain things that really they're true, sometimes you will not be able to bring them into words. A guide acts in a way to help you verbalize these truths or to help them acknowledge you through your inner core, but always to the degree that it's also already in you, you see, because it's already there in you. A guide is not showing you answers. No one can grow for you. No one can show you things in that way, because you, as an individualized part of that creation, you yourself are experiencing. So if the information is not coming through you, it's just information. It's just a certain fact. It might be your own personal truth. And what this ascension journey and cycle is about is for each of us to embody our own personal source truth. But there is also this, what I call the truth of one. And it doesn't mean there is just one truth, because we each embody our own. But within all of this, all of the creation, all of life unfolding within that creation, there's an aspect which holds all of it together, the glue to all. And these are eternal principles that are even above and beyond just, for instance, 7 hermetic principles or principles of this universe. I was just browsing this through, and for instance, in the Kabbalion, you have the 7 principles, the 7 hermetic principles, and you have the principles of mentalism, of correspondence, of vibration, of polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. There's a lot of things that people would refer to here as certain universal laws that could be placed under this. And these are very sacred knowings that are under this. And you can study this yourself. But if I would be guided to speak about certain principles of creation, that would be even those, because it's not just this universe. This is the local universe, so to say. It's not just this universe. The creation is so vast. And the only thing that glues all of this together is the truth of one. And here these divine eternal principles are one and the same. So you know the truth about the hologram, the holographic universe? Or, you say in one cell of your body holds the record of all your other cells. And like I was explaining in one of my latest light activations, just this body part that you might associate as separate at that moment, it's not. It's one with all the rest of it. So the thing is, everything works in a unison. But what keeps it so? What creates it so? What makes it so? It is these underlying principles of creation, of the glue that holds all life and all principles, all universes together as one. And when I say creation principles, that I am aware of these principles, that they exist, that they are here, that we are living and coexisting within them. We are part of them. It's not something separate. We exist because of them. When I say this, I have this inner knowing. They're within me. They're this inner divine remembrance because on my level of my own knowing, I embody this. But when I come here, you have to know as a soul with a certain purpose, because I fragment in a way to be able to come here to this particular physical embodiment and to also do my part. A part of it is to be a guide amongst other, but there's just a part of me. It's not the whole me. You see, that's the difference. So within that, I will always know as much as it is on that other side, let's call it like that, as it's appropriate for me to know for the group. Because why would I otherwise be here to share with the group, with my divine companions, if I would be instantly remembering everything and therefore disappear? Because the cells within this structure cannot hold such a living, fast rotating vibration at all. You see, that is the whole thing. So maybe if you ask me questions sometimes that I don't reply or I don't address here in these videos, like I said, it no longer resonates with me to do question and answers videos, or to maybe when someone says you should talk about this, if I'm not guided, it means that my spirit, it's not guiding me that way, in that direction, because I'm working in the group consciousness of the I am already. That means I will always anchor through that which is most needed for the greater benefit of the group, you see, for the whole group, because I'm no longer functioning as a separate entity and saying what is only good for me. The charity within this, the service that we're doing, also, through our unique emergence, of course, but also service to the greater whole. We do it for the greater whole. So it's no longer just about what one person would want or what we would want ourselves. It's about the greater aspect. So also, it wouldn't have a meaning if I would just say the principles are such and such and such, and it would only come to you as external information. I have oftentimes addressed this, if it doesn't come through you, it's just serving in a way as something maybe triggering your own awareness. If you still won't understand it, if you still have a bunch of questions, that means you're still not there. It's still not flowing exactly through you. You still haven't opened your channel to pure source energy. So you're still getting there in a way, which is fine. Everyone is at their own spiral of evolution of this ascension. So the thing is, when I was thinking about that, I was saying, yes, I will speak about that. But exactly the moment when it will become very easable to verbalize it, to verbalize everything, when it becomes clear also to my human part that I am to speak about this. For instance, like I've said before, we mentioned the fact, why can we remember everything in once? And so many people say, I was here on this planet. So I'm a star seed, I belong to here. I originate from Alpha Centauri. Let's give, for example, this example. But it's not true, because we all originate from the same one God spark. You see, these what people might say originate from that planet or originate from that planetary system is just maybe a remembrance when your soul started to incarnate in a way, experience the lower worlds, the lower dimension, so to say, which is very good referenced in the book of Salvador Kelly, Earth Changes in 2012. You have the realms, you have the lower realms, the outer worlds, which you can explore on your journeys to gain wisdom as a soul, to gain knowledge, to really grow. That's the way source grows, through these individualized expressions of itself, to these tiny, beautiful sparks of light and unique expressions of it. So this just represents maybe your first your first reaching out into exploration of this outer worlds and realities, and say, wow. And on the other note, there's also an aspect of you that always exists there. The seed of the potential also exists in the higher worlds. At the same time, there are those who did not go in to explore those lower worlds, the external worlds, but they were creating them for those who wish to experience it. And I really explained this, I think, in one of my videos a while back. And after all, so I remember I was reading that book and I got a lot of my divine remembrance back through it. So I was really thankful to Sal and his guidance, because a lot of his guidance was also my own inner knowing, and I was really thankful for it. But you have to know that whatever I read, I will always feel what totally resonates at that moment, which means it's already inside of me, and something which feels maybe I haven't remembered yet, or something that's like, oh, not true at all, you know? You will always know. You just have to really trust yourself. So if you're not really guided, you don't have to make up stories and say, oh, you know, everyone knows what planet they originate from, so why don't I? It doesn't mean where you originate from, because we all basically originate from the same God spark. We're all one. But we have different soul journeys, and we serve different fractions of creation, the variation of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so diverse. You see, that is the beauty and nature of all life in this creation. So if it doesn't come through you, it doesn't serve any purpose, you see? And if you would really be able to remember everything, like I said, you would vibrate away. Your physical form would not be able, I mean, you wouldn't be able to hold this physical form. Like, in that sense, it wouldn't be necessary anymore, so to say. But why would you choose to come here as a guide? Because I know there's many of you who are guiding. That's why I call you my beloved Essential Pioneers, because you're also doing your own unique way of service through guidance in your own way. So why would you choose to come here, vibrate away? It really doesn't serve any purpose. You chose here to maintain just enough and the right frequency to guide the group, but to maintain of this world, while at the same time not be of it. You are in the world, but you're not of it. That's the whole thing. That is the consciousness that we're living. We're coexisting, like I said, our divine and human self. So the example here, which I wanted to present, is, what did I want to mention? I wanted to give this great example, but I forgot. Oh, I got this great confirmation today. We were supposed to do the Children of the Sun light activation on the rite of emergence on 12/12/12, but we didn't, because we did our own things and we wanted to spend the day more in peace and our own inner guidance. So what we did is we did the activation today, which was quite late, but we don't think of it as such. We think of everything as divine timing when it's the best needed. So I already recorded my own light activation on Friday. I think it was Friday, after doing a holding session on my mom, and I received this guidance with the golden liquid light and the symbols and a flower of life and merging with it. I didn't know anything. I didn't even read the text from Children of the Sun. So what I did, we did the activation, and we come to the part when you are basically seeing the matrix of the flower of life, the creation symbol, and you just totally merge with it. You fuse yourself with it. We go around every thread and the curves and the inner lines, and then you get ignited. You receive its flames, its pulsating flames, and you travel there by the golden sphere, golden light. And I'm like, this is so creepy, because I got the same guidance. And the moment I felt that, was the aspect that whispered inside me was group consciousness. You don't have to do activation already. It's already done, because you're already there. And you don't have to read the text to receive the same guidance, because we're all now who are there already are tuning in. You're tapping into that same grid, to that same awareness. And I was talking to a friend today, and she said, yeah, first all was purple, and now I felt gold, everything is gold. And I said, yes. You see, that is the same guidance that I received. So everyone who is attuned now, who are working to embody their own truth through their own body vehicles, are really starting to tune into that, are starting to tap into the flow. So you yourself, I'm going to be here serving as a guide to guide you how to really start trusting yourself, how to tune into that flow. And the confirmation that I got today was just totally amazing, because first I was like just speechless, and then I saw, look, I really just have to start trusting that I'm not missing out on something. I'm really not guided to read lately at all. I'm not guided I don't even watch videos anymore. I used to watch some of them. Now I don't know, watch certain videos that don't really have certain special content, especially nothing spiritual like that. And I'm starting to see that it's because the purity of my own inner guidance is very necessary right now in these times. And that is why I like to give and share this message with all of you who sometimes wonder, why I don't speak about the things you want me to speak about. It's because I'm tuning into that group consciousness. And these times are that of group consciousness. So know that when you're a guide, when you, even yourself, working with other individuals who are there, who are ready to embrace their true empowerment of their own inner truth, you are there serving as a way shower, that you yourself are tapping into that source guidance, so they can really start trusting it as well, so they can see how easy it can be for them. You don't give them answers. You don't do what they say. You serve the divine. The divine always comes first because it is all that is. It is that which creates all life. It is that which you serve within. It is the matrix of all life, you see? So the divine principles that I mention and I like to talk about is that which comes naturally to me when I really feel that it's coming through me. Because you know, you will really see that in you. When someone will ask you a question, will say, please explain soul journeys or explain this and that. And you'll start thinking, oh gosh, oh, and then you'll even start thinking what you read in a certain book and you'll try to quote it. It's not coming from you. When I was talking with my beloved this weekend, and he was asking me questions, and I was just fluently giving responses, like fluently. And that's how I know it's from me. It's from my own inner spark. And it's not mine. You see, it doesn't mean that it's mine. It just means that you have embarked upon and you have embraced that much quotient of that life, of that wisdom, you know, of that divine knowing that you already possess it in a way, but you don't possess it because you're just tapping into it. You know, like I said, you're not of the world. You're in it, but you're not of this world. No one is. We're all of the divine, but we are explorers. And we learn here through the opposite. We learn also sometimes through what we're not. So when we say ego, what do we mean? We basically mean that which we falsely identify with, and we see only that. So these are the lowest of the lower dimensions that we can possibly think of. Total identification with the material. Doesn't mean that the material is an illusion or it doesn't exist. Of course it does. The outer external worlds, they do. But the identification with just that means that, you know, fall, like some explained, fall from grace or whatever. That means the forgetfulness state. A total identification with that. So my encouragement here in this video would be to really follow your own guidance in the group and imagine, concern it as we're moving together. I remember my mom was reading this book. I think it was one of the books in the series of, I don't know, Celestine Prophecies, I think. And she said that what they were doing there as a group, they discovered that just one individual cannot hold enough light quantum. So they wanted to change the consciousness together in groups. And that is how they lifted their entire vibration, or they were lifting the vibration of their city, or, you know, extending it outwards. And that is what we're moving towards now. That is why I speak. I'll be talking more about how to co-create in the new, how to really merge together with one another. No more separation, because separation is just keeping us in the state that we believe all is one, but we don't act and we don't embody like all is one. We don't act like I'm you and you're me. You see, that is the whole difference. And now we're moving into the embodiment. And my, you know, kind of confirmation today was I am embodying it. I'm embodying aspects of it because I didn't need to see or watch something in the same guidance flow through me as it flew through Children of the Sun light activation. Maybe it was transferred through different words because we all have unique ways and ways of expression and how we operate. That is beautiful. Without it, there is no such thing as this diversity. But it was one and the same. You see the aspect, the glue. So we got to trust this. We got to trust that you won't miss out on anything if you don't see that video or watch that channel or read that, you know, writing. It doesn't mean that. We're just basically, when we're now communicating with one another, is we're just checking, you know, we're kind of riding the same waves. We're still all experiencing it differently, and we're all individual essences because we also have different embodiments of that divine wisdom and knowledge. Doesn't mean that it's not there for us all and we're just tapping into it, but we're still all riding the same waves. So what the cycle now is, this was a cycle. Every single cycle, you cannot really move out of the cycle. You just keep repeating the old, you know, just the old ways. What you can do is just stop, move, you know, a bit up. It's always up. Wherever you go, even if you're turned downwards, it's always up. It's always move from the cycle, and then you create a new one. That's what we're doing right now. You know, that's what we're doing, and we're doing it through our own internal guidance. So I hope you really got the message as purely as I wanted it to come out. Like I say, sometimes it's not always as easy to verbalize it as it felt through the I am presence and this unique body that we each have. That's why it's really important to feel the oneness, to help each other through understanding. You know, we were also talking about the aspect of, we were seeing, I was looking at this video from this great person, and there was this nasty comment, and that's why I don't allow comments on my videos, because everyone is free to share through their own service. Because what we do, we were discussing this aspect. I said, the moment when you comment at someone else's channel or video, anything besides just love or thank you or gratitude or you're amazing, thank you for your unique expression, when you're just observing and you see namaste, you see another fraction of creation and another source, experienced through the other in another external mirror. What we do is when we comment something else, or we just want to add something and maybe we want to say, oh, but, or when we add a but, it's not coming from a space of purity and pure recognition and observance anymore. It's like, yeah, you expressed it there and you expressed it individually, but I have just this to add. Why add anything if this was this person's unique expression at that time? Exactly perfect. It was their perfect expression. So that is why I don't allow comments. I mean, allow, it's a bad word again, but it's because I know that whatever I said in a certain video, it's exactly what I need to say at that time, at that divine timing. You see, it's my contribution to the greater whole. So anyone who has something to add can. We all have many resources now. Facebook, so many social networks, so many, I don't know, ways that you could really express yourself through, and that you can be creative with your blog, videos, anything. So many ways. And this means to be unique expressions of the divine. But the moment we say, yeah, but I have this to add, but I just have to comment this and that, you're already negating what that person was expressing, you see? These are all aspects to consider when we talk about the group consciousness, but also at the same time, the individualized I am, the individualized source aspect, which are both equally important because we have the outer, the external realities, and the highest aspects, which are the co-creator aspects, with everything, like I was explaining the infinity symbol. It's everything. If you look at the center, you move from it. You don't go away from it. You never leave the source. You're always returning to it, you see? You go out to explore, you take something new, and you go back to source. You always return to source, you never stop. This is what our journey is about. So I hope you enjoyed my little conversation here, and I'll continue in one of my next videos. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned. Bye. Love you all.